God, I'd love to keep playing. I need a platform. Pornhub, we've discussed, is a thing. Vimeo is a thing. I want to play music. Hell, I pay $1,000 a year, like something, to let me play music on YouTube. Please let me give $1,000 for the whole year just to play whatever the fuck I want. No one will do that. This is the Triangle Voce Center, which is, I don't know who came first, if it was Mr. Speaker's or Triangle, but the VOCE, Voce. And we're here in my great room. Echo. Great room lights 100. God damn it, it's the worst. Echo! Great room lights 100. Okay. Did that help or hurt? She listens occasionally. So, if you go back to a couple weeks ago, was it over a month ago? It might have been like 2 months ago. I did a whole video on how mono was the solution I figured out to my giant echoey great room. Because it's a terrible space for sound. And people are like, well, just treat the room, Zeos. Just treat this giant 55-foot deep, 31-foot wide space. Just treat it. Just hang shit and treat it. But I didn't. And I'm okay with it for some reason, mostly because the basement exists. But I still want to like be entertained up here. Like, as I'm in the kitchen, I want to watch a thing or listen to music. And it's like, I have had obviously the RF7s and things up here, and they go and they are very, very impressive, but they're not correct until they're in the basement. Actually, the speaker thing is in that corner. So we are here on the vertical 65-inch Sony. People are so confused. They think I bought some sort of special magical display. It's a $700 TV from Costco. Actually, $720 4K TV from Costco. And it runs out of the headphone out on this TV directly into the balanced input on this Emotiva PA1, which is a monoblock amp, and then it goes down into that speaker at the end. Oh, there's also the thing where I have the subwoofer, the giant Klipsch 15-inch subwoofer over here. Ignore the Christmas lights. Christmas is over. You know what? Christmas isn't over. Fuck it. Let's put some Christmas lights on. There you go. Boom. The giant 15-inch Klipsch sub supports the low end out of that. And the result is startlingly good. And so this is the first time I've changed it out. I've been using, where's my remote? Is it in my pocket? Or am I just happy to see me? I'm sleepwalking. That's Otis Taylor, by the way. Otis Taylor, 7 hours of light. I was using this JBL 520C, which is a 4-inch, I can't get these grills off or I'd show you. The 4-inch center channel with this huge waveguide. Like, I'm pretty sure it doesn't work past like here. But it looks like the whole thing is part of the waveguide. And I love this center. And when I swap to this one, which is far deeper, and we'll actually get and hold it in the second half of this video, I noticed that it narrowed down quite a bit. And I think that's because we're looking at a directional tweeter, and while larger 5 1/4, much farther apart. Those are actually squeezed very close together. If I were to show you, they're like this far apart, and these are like that far apart. And this is the thing that's always bothered me about center channels. I might make this like a part center channel video too, where I just rant about center channels and have you add them to a surround sound. That better be the most important, best, most expensive part of your whole surround sound. You want the center channel to matter. By the way, I'm holding the cover for this. Yeah, it's enough of that. Fuck that shit. No, put this thing away. You only put that on when you have guests that you don't want to impress too much. Dual 5 1/4, front ported. That's important. Get it? Important. Because not many center channels do front ports. And what that would allow you to do is, especially if you have cabinets or cabinetry, you could actually mount this center channel into the cabinet, which it seems like a no-brainer. Like, okay, left and right speakers front ported. Yes, you can make that decision and you can sort of tuck things closer to a wall, but a center channel, you almost fucking guarantee it's going to be either in a piece of furniture or under a TV pushed against a wall. So why would JBL, why? I mean, I understand why JBL, because it's really narrow, but also, where would you put it? So the design of this makes more sense, but now back to the sound of it, because that's what we're going to be getting to. I know for a fact the tweeter in that is better than the tweeter in the JBL, but from observance of like living here with it for now for like three weeks, I think I had it set up. It's a much narrower band. Now, again, this is only the first half. If you think this is bullshit, Zeos, you can't test up here, please fast forward to the midway point of this video. Today is a Sunday. I'm going to be live streaming. I'm going to bring that center channel downstairs. I have a mini DSP UDI-08. I'm going to set up an entire little miniature surround sound. And I'm going to pull out a monoblock amplifier, probably the Behringer 800. And I'm going to power this little bastard right in the center of its own little private surround sound, disconnected from everything else. And I'm going to give that an assessment at that point. But right here, right now, when I'm here, it isn't quite as good as a JBL is when I'm here, because those 5 1/4s are so much farther apart that they because they're doing this. It's mono. It's a mono speaker. There's no stereo. If there was a Bluetooth speaker, I'm sure that, or a sound bar, God forbid, they would attempt to do stereo. That is the wrong hand motion for stereo, but I'm doing it. And the fact that both of those 5 1/4s are pushing, when you get off center of it, now the waves hit you at different times and they cancel out. So that's why I started that conversation about fucking 5 minutes ago. The reason I don't understand center channels is they really should just be a vertical speaker. Having a vertical, if you have a bookshelf to the right and a bookshelf to the left, having that exact same bookshelf to the center makes the most sense linearly. Linearly, I think I said it correctly. Because you want the vertical alignment. I've discussed this in like the Emotiva Center I did a while back in my old apartment, where they had basically a little tiny speaker, treble and mid-range in vertical arrangement, and then 6 1/2s to flank it for low end. Because now I have the subwoofer over there, so it doesn't really count. But this space again doesn't count. We're just jiving here. We're just jiving. You're gonna hear my voice change when we switch to the midway point and I move downstairs. You're gonna be like, wow, is that what it's like to live without echo? That took entirely too long to stop going. So here, doing its thing, which is it's not mostly music. I've got like this table set up just to keep me out of the basement. Code Phoenix. Fly and feel and free. No. With the sub helping out, with the echo, like having a singular point that can actually use the echo to sound bigger, it's great. There's no the weird phasing issues of left and right canceling out don't exist because I'm using mono. Honestly, it's fantastic. Standing in front of it. Now, if I move here, and this is an AC/DC song, so this is really dangerous to try with, because AC/DC gets you blocked worldwide. It doesn't sound quite as good. That's as much as that song as I'm willing to play. But what I can play, I think, wait. I think that's Attack on Titan. What I can play instead of, and hold on, there's like 2 function keys, and I want to just Alt F4. Hi, tubers. Alt function 2, boom. What I want to play is I'm going to put on a podcast. I watched the Trash Taste podcast, and now you watch the Trash Taste podcast.
Here's some sipping ASMR. Well,
Chewbacca watches the Trash Taste podcast, don't you? Which is the 3 anime dudes who went to Japan and now do a podcast and never talk about anime. It's great. They talk about poop. Coming up. Hi. Yes, you got your medicine today. You're going to get your medicine later tonight. Everyone on these cameras, look at the camera. They're worried about you. You're a divine entity.
God.
Tuesday. When we're recording this, the Mario episode is out.
Yeah.
So if you listen to the voice, I'm going to try to just do a gentle pan over. I usually wouldn't have it pointed there. Actually, I do have it pointed there when I'm either watching a podcast and listening to the headphones or that. But usually it's pointed into the, ignore that. It pointed into the kitchen, so it's more directional. But with the JBL, the spread is so much wider than this. So this is focusing a lot of detail forward.
Weird to just mention. Right?
Yeah,
Just
but
like NDA.
I love how they legitimately figured it out like day one.
So what that means is I'm going to hit B for boss key because everybody knows you're watching porn at work and you hit the B key and then your boss doesn't get to see what you're looking at, right? So I'm going to stop the video now because it's irrelevant to be up here. I just love showing off. You needed that wallpaper and it is there. So I did it. I think once this is set up in a very specific, actual surround sound setup, that is going to be one of the better sounding center channels I've ever used. Now I've used maybe 10 in my lifetime, like 10 center channels. This being my like all-time favorite because when you get it for like $159.99 or $189, it's like, holy Jesus, this is a softer, warmer, wider spreading sounding center channel. And I feel like this one, if you couldn't tell from the walk, once you're right in front of this, holy shit, because it's dedicated for vocals. It's even got the ports directly next to the tweeter. So everything that comes out of that is going to be very focused. So I don't think it's going to work, and I won't know until I'm downstairs. But what a center channel should do is fix you to a display. You're watching a movie, Tony Stark is talking on screen, you're listening to Tony Stark. But that works with stereo too, if you just have two speakers. If you're putting on music, you don't put a center channel on for music. You can, but you usually don't because it's mixed so that there's, a sound stage, and then you have a mono signal of the people singing, and it comes out both speakers evenly, and you have a good center image. The center channel, what its job is to eliminate the need for you to be directly between two speakers. So you could be slightly off, because what we talked about with the phase alignment would be off and you'd never hear it, it would be all fucked up. A center channel fixes itself to that position. It's always the voice coming out from in front of the display, no matter where you are. My concern is that is such a wide center channel, and those 5 1/4s are doing a lot of the tonality of the vocals, because it isn't a tweeter and then another mid-range and then bass, that it may not have the width that I like in a center channel. The Emotiva one had a lot of width because it was a vertical and then 2, and that is very crowded to get. I'll eventually get this cup. Am I gonna get a butter knife right now and peel it off for you? Because it's been 1 week since you looked at him. I'm gonna literally get a butter knife. Here's a butter knife. And we're gonna peel that off. Chewbacca, I know. Welcome to Z Reviews, everybody. I don't want to drop this on the floor again. I've dropped that cover before. There we go. It's almost impossible to get this off without some sort of tool. Just pointing that out. There we go. Ah, yeah, see, they could have put these drivers further out. They didn't. They squeezed it down. Look how small they are. That's a 4-inch. How the hell does this deliver the sound it does at a 4-inch? I mean, I'm not saying that you can't accomplish very big things with 4 inches. Just it's proven by science. But that is such a tight, compact. That is only as wide as like an MB42 center, basically. Maybe the drivers are a little bit further apart. But even then, they have the rolled waveguides. What? All right. Chewbacca will now fly. She's happy here. All right, we're going to take this center channel downstairs. We're going to hook it up in a temporary, miniature, very focused 5.1 or 6.1 or 7.1. I haven't decided yet. And we're going to give it a listen in a treated space. As much as you don't think it's treated, having the entire ceiling filled with insulation and then breathable paper that's treatment for me. And we'll come back to this and we'll finalize this review. Because right now up here, I still prefer that over this. So we'll see if this, by the way, this is $700. Actually, no, in white, it's $900. In the other colors, it's $700. So that's a fucking huge investment. And I want to make goddamn sure it's worth it because I love the triangle towers. I love the Gaia towers. I just love them. But do you need the center channel? Or can you live with just stereo? Let's find out. Oh, little baby. It's chilly down here. Why are you down here? You should go back upstairs, where it's warm and loving. Daddy's working. Look who's on TV.
My name's Charles Bronson,
Charlie Bronson.
and all my life I've wanted to be famous.
This is Bronson, starring Mad Max, or Eames, depending on what movie you want to go to. So anyway, I spent the good part of today setting up for this second half of this review, and it was a nightmare because it was just I could have done it, but I wanted to get the rears going, and so you know where I am. I'm in the speaker domain, and I moved all the speakers, put them up on stands, brought the sub over here, mini DSP, UDIO8 there, which lets me do, you know, the thing I complained about where there's like, oh, you can't get surround sound with your own DACs. Well, you can. It just requires one of those and then effort. So I'm actually running properly center channel, surround sound source. I've got it monoblocked off the Behringer A800. It's a quality amp. You're not over pushing it. Anything class D, as long as you're not pushing it too hard. Clean. Noise free. I'm actually using the Sonkaz SGD1 DAC to feed this pure. I've hooked up the Triangle Gaias to the Six Devices Achilles amps, and I'm running those off the Aoun X8 Magic DAC, so that's my volume control for that. And then I've got the Buchard A500s and the Swan D1090s as the most insane DSP speakers in the rear of us ever. Just ever. And I'm running these upside down so that they tilt forward. That seat, bro. Okay, so this triangle, and I'll take the cover off because nobody cares about the cover. I mean, magnets. When we look at the actual price, when we dig deep, and you see that, why would the mouse do that? When you see that $900, and that $900 is specifically for this white one, in brown or black, it's $700. So I'm going to assess on that price. Not that price. That price is for the, oh shit, I got the white ones. Just like these are $2,100. Unless you get them in white, then they're $2,400. So that doesn't really make them $2,400. And I've been sitting here now for a couple hours since my live stream ended after I set this up. And I've been just listening to things. I actually found out Fubar 2000 now has an upscale to 7.1 setting, which does a remarkable job. There's not enough options in it. I really wish there was more options. But that's a plug, that's a DSP. You could just boop, add, and you set your computer output to 7.1, and all of a sudden it's using surround sound for music. I think this is one of the clearer center channels I've ever listened to. Like, even more impressed than I am with the towers, I am with the center. Because it is like just the 2 seconds of him talking on screen. It's just...
I knew I was made for better things.
It's just wild.
I had a calling.
Like, I've been hearing shit that I'm like, I probably shouldn't be hearing that. Now, that could be a combination of things. Here's the thing. Another thing, same thing about things. I've never heard a center channel through a dedicated DAC digital setup. Well, no one has. It's the whole thing I argued about. And I've never heard a triangle center. I mean, I could take a triangle speaker, plop it in the middle, and hook it up to any surround receiver and just go boop. And there's like, that's as high quality as you get, is literally one of these in the middle. So having it, and the thing is, I'm also sitting right here. If I do that thing where I sit far to the right or left, it might have a little bit of degradation because of the phase, this misalignment with the two outside 5 1/4. But overall, and I'm pretty close right here. Like, I am probably closer than I would ever want to be to a center channel. It's maybe 6.5, less than 7 feet. You want more space than that. Because if you're this close, at that point, you're in like a near field setup, which is one of the goals I had for building that. So I went to the near field setup. Yeah, it's $700. Because here's the thing. Once you go Gaia, once you have that, once you have the matching absurdity of the towers, that's like, ooh, it needs to be like buffed. Once you have that, anything less than that here is going to be noticeable. And if you know my argument for home theater, and since I'm reviewing specifically a center channel, you probably should know my argument for home theater, is that you always want to spend the most on the center channel. If you're going to put one in, because I'm not a huge advocate, if I walk to the other side of the basement, for those people this is the first video you've ever seen of mine, how you doing? Until if my heater runs, it's very noisy. My dedicated basement home theater does not have a center channel. It's got heresy, dual subs, one for each heresy, some rears in the back here, and I sit there and there's no center, and it's perfect because the imaging between that fucking amazing array is just and if I put a center, any center, even that center there, it would just fall short of this, because what this and that can do to make people speak out of the middle of the screen is the only way to make it be as good would be literally another one of these back here behind the transparent screen. That would be it. So in that breath, if you're gonna do a center, which you only do a center when you need multiple sitting angles, if you're here, if this is where you're sitting in your living room and you have left and right speakers presumably further apart, if you'd be in front of the left speaker, and you need that speaker to fix the point, so when you're there or here or buy some windows or way over here, that's still where the sound is coming. That's where the vocals are coming from. They're coming from the middle. So if you need it for that reason, boom, you get a center. Or if you're left and right, or I don't want to say the word lackluster, but I don't know who you are and I don't know what speakers you've got, so I'm going to say lackluster. But if you have monstrous, crazy left and rights, which these are amazing speakers, and if you're sitting just like this in this size triangle, they're gorgeous. But if you're trying to push the guys in a room or space bigger than this, you're gonna need some help to fix that. To like literally fix, like affix the sound. So yeah, I'm trying to think if I would recommend this center for people who have like, because I'm also not a huge advocate, or like, it isn't written in stone that you have to have a matching center channel. Oh, the timbre, the timbre, T-I-M-B-R-E, somehow that's a timbre. But the sound of things going from the right to the center to the left, which is honestly very rare in movies if you listen to mixes. But if you want it to perfectly match, you obviously need the same, at least tweeter, when you're going from here to there to there. But I have always argued the fact that if you have speakers left and right, and you have a budget, of $600 for those speakers, that's a pretty good speaker. I think you should get a $600 center channel, which won't be the matching center channel because the center channel will be smaller. Just like these are $2,400 a pair, and that's $900, so it's cheaper in some sort of weird audiophile terms. But if I put, $200 speakers, excuse the interruption, back to what I was saying. Yes. If you're asking me if you should buy the center channel to match your Gaias and left and right, yes, absolutely. I think it does a spectacular job. But if you're thinking about buying the center channel, regardless of having anything triangle even in existence, if you have Klipsch towers on the left or mica origin, well, mica origins wouldn't be a thing, no. What was it, mica RB42s in left and right? If you're using some sort of shitty old home theater box and you're like, I want to upgrade my center, should I get this for $700? Yeah, that's an option. I will always tell you to buy the biggest, baddest mofo center channel in existence that you can afford. Hell, that you can't afford. But just buy it. Buy the big one. That's cool how that just magnets onto that. That's great. So yeah, no, this is I've verified in the basement versus upstairs. This fucking thing is clean. Not as wide a dispersion as like the JBL, but holy shit, that tweeter. I know I've got on, what's it called now? I opened my foobar. So I put on this.
She keeps a Moet Chandon in a pretty cabinet.
We're in the surround sound mode, by the way, and you can see my usual thing that has 2 bars is well, there's 7 there currently, but I don't think the .1 works.
She says, just like Marie Antoinette, a building.
So I don't know how it could be a 7.1 if it's not including the .1. Like, I wish there was just more options to adjust that in foobar, because that would be amazing. If I could like set a cutoff frequency. But yeah, no. Since I have it set to a 7.1 up convert, basically vocals are coming out of there. So, you know, Queen vocals are coming out of there. You can't go wrong with Queen vocals. I'm never gonna get monetized. Thank you for supporting this channel. Yes. Although music is not usually what you listen to on a surround sound, I do advocate it. I'm an advocate of surround sound music. This is fake surround sound music, like it's literally whatever the fuck foobar's doing to throw different. Usually, it finds the mono information in the front and puts it to the center, and then it finds out of phase information and pushes it to the rear. I don't know how it's delineating side or back, and it's not doing anything to the .1, which is a little sad. I would like it to do something to the .1. But yes, I would say that this is an all around yes. Triangle has redeemed itself from that previous set that I was sort of like meh, and then the Gaias are like ooh, fucking ooh, and now the center channel, which I guess I'm gonna have to set up a semi-permanent system down here to do center channel reviews, because I haven't really done any. I did that at Emotiva. I definitely talked about the JBL, although I'm not sure it got its own dedicated video. This might be my first dedicated center channel video, and I'm glad I got to do this shit all day on live streams, like 7 hours of just tearing everything apart, mounting things to the rack, troubleshooting the shit out of that, not outputting to rear channels. It's all been wonderful. And then trying to figure out why the voltage is low to these, and actually the gauge in that one started working. So I'm going to end this while I'm on a high note. And I'm not high, but I'm on a high note. Yes in the center channel, linked in the description. Yes in the Gaias, linked in the description. Yes to the UD. I'm going to link the UDI08 here, which is the little box underneath this, this is the box for the A500s, because that's literally wirelessly making my back channels go. Look, just power is going to them. So that's the most expensive rear channel setup you've ever seen. What do you got? I don't know, like $4,500 sides and $400 DSP corrected rear. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It fucking sounds amazing, by the way. I was watching The Tick before y'all came down. I was watching The Tick, and I didn't realize how well its surround sound mixed for just like ambient noise, just ambient street noise. I'm like, holy shit, what the fuck is going on? Yeah, so this participated in that, and I will never forget. This is the moment it happened. So yeah, links. 2 wallpapers. You get the upstairs wallpaper. You get this chick. They both have purple hair. Although she might have white hair with just purple accents. But very clean, very neat, very fucking beautiful. And I'm done. Right? No sound demo because it's center. Although if I put the sound demo rig in the middle of this and played it, it probably would melt the microphones. Like, I'd have to lower the sensitivity to like 5. Because, I mean, I want to play it loud. But yeah, no, this is it. I'm done. It's a strange review for me because I don't usually do center channels. So I really have no... I have nothing to compare against. I've never had a center channel running in the basement. This is the first one. I don't bother over there. So yeah, this is ground zero. I mean, I remember center channels in my old apartment, and what I think about center channels and how I'm not like super sold and you need one. But I'm not upset that I'm using it right now. And I'm probably going to do a whole bunch of other weird things now that I have this surround sound setup going with, you know, individualized DACs or digital inputs and everything. So yeah, thank you for stopping by. I've been Zio Spantero of Z Reviews. Wallpapers, cats, links, Patreon, subscribe star, see reviews early for $5 a month on either platform. Participate in the yard sales for $5 a month on either platform. I ship for free. If you're in the continental United States, it's 1/3 shipping you have to pay international. I just sell off a bunch of stuff I'm done with after the month is over. And if you want to ask me any questions or get my advice, $10 a month or higher gets you into the private behind-the-scenes Telegram chat, which is a bunch of great dudes and some girls. Some, just a handful. Not even a handful, like 3. But yeah. My nose is stuffed. It's been a fucking long day, and I just wanted to get this done. And I hope you at least consider Triangle for... If you just bought a Triangle Center and didn't buy any of their other speakers, none of their other shit, that would sell you on Triangle the brand. That right there. Once you've got that in your life, you understand.